I don't think we've ever just really settled on a title for this particular show, but
no, I don't think so. I mean, we kind of talked about, what you'd shared in the notes. We'll probably, when we get done with it, probably come down. But I mean, it's like, whether we use some of Dalio's title work or some of Jordan Peterson's or whatever, but I mean,
right. So just to kind of hit that topic, when Ryan's talking about Dalio, he's talking about Ray Dalio and the book that he wrote, which was The Changing World Order.
Right.
And we're going to talk here a little bit about the changing world order. I mean, it kind of opened my eyes up just a little bit to that this has happened so many times in the past that this is, you've got the incline, and then you've got the when they're on top, and then you've got the decline. But whenever there's a decline, that there's another nation that's kind of coming up. And as soon as their lines cross, whenever this one's going down and this one's going up, that generally there's a war, but there's a changing of power that happens at that particular time.
The rise and fall of empires.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's always one rising up as one's declining, and eventually it comes to a head, and that's where a lot of catastrophes happen.
Right.
It certainly made me question. Well, I mean, it's what we're seeing with America. I mean, is this just the natural course of history that we can only expect that America is going to decline? And is there anything we can do about that? Or I shouldn't say but I would say that, what we've seen happen is that the things that causes a decline is exactly what it seems like our government is doing exactly the opposite. They're exacerbating the problem.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, taking steps that are, as we've stated in the past, seem counterproductive to what should be our common goal, what should be ways to correct the course and fix things. They seem to be intentionally going the opposite direction. But when we look at the principles that he talks about, and we look at the rise and fall and these historical patterns, you actually see them doing what they've always done. However, it does seem that in this case, they've thrown caution to the wind, so to speak, or they've pulled off the reserve chute and said, full speed ahead, let's go.
Right.
And it's, I do believe it's more amplified than maybe it has been in times past, because I don't think, as we're talking about under FDR and under Nixon, the different times when we disconnected from the gold and made those decisions, it was with that intent, whereas now it seems more intentional, because now it's not even about being connected to gold. It's just printing money faster than the machines can spit it out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's like if we know, this information, the World Economic Forum, knows the history and the cycle like this. So, and they're still doing, like you said, everything that causes this, but at a faster rate. You know? So it's like you got to ask yourself why. Like they know that this is going to cause this. Why are they doing it, and why are they pushing this so hard? And I got a few theories to that, which we'll get into.
Well, and that was really why I wanted to have this conversation with the three of us, because we had it before. Mm-hmm. And, when common sense folks just sits around and they see what's going on in the world and they scratch their head and they say, well, why would they do that? Why would they make the moves that they make? For example, and this is not exactly related, but sort of, we're very used to being lied to on the campaign trail, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so once they promise you that they're going to go up there and they're going to change Washington, D.C., but as soon as they get up there, what do? It just seems like they just march in lockstep with whatever D.C. wants them to do. And you always wonder, well, why is that? I mean, did you just lie to me intentionally to get up there for your own gain? Or is there something going on in D.C. that changes people?
Right.
Right. Do they see the writing on the wall that it's inevitable?
Right.
So, just what was it? Obama said, just kind of manage the decline, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, it was controlled decline or some controlled descent or something like that. And it was, we can't stop this. It's going to happen. So we just need to manage it the best we can, basically. And which was a defeatist, mentality that we weren't used to hearing, but it goes back to his fundamentally transform America.
Right. Which is wrong, obviously. At that time,
Right.
It definitely could have been fixed. I mean, you ask me now, I'm not so sure. The debt's just gotten crazy over the last 12 years. So, but before that, we would have, the '08 crisis, that bubble, let that bubble fully burst and heal, and I think America would have been just fine, if we went back to basic economics, supply side economics, produce something of value, get back to the fundamentals of economics. America would not have started on this path of decline. But in '08 they didn't do that. A lot of people got hurt in '08, but that the pain should have been worse than what it was. You seen them throwing things out like Tarp, that now, Tarp is, it was I can't remember. I think it was supposed to be like 780 billion or something for Tarp. Well, they finally released those numbers on what it costed, and it was crazy high, like in the tens of trillions is what it's
well beyond what was.
Stated. It's like, where'd that money go? We're talking trillions, like tens of trillions of what Tarp costed. It was, y'all told us 780 billion or something. Along that line.
Too big to fail.
Right. So they should have ripped that Band-Aid off in '08, go into a long recession for years, a slight depression even, and it would have been fine. Now, they just patched that bubble and they're pumped it so much. It's so much worse now.
It's in '08. I mean, had we went through it, and the situation just been allowed to develop, we were in an overall better position societal wise as well as financially, most people, even though wages may have been lower, things of that nature, because of just natural time, but we were in a better position overall to withstand it. Whereas now, after having come off of COVID-19 and the economic shutdown, the lockdowns, all the stuff where we stalled the economic engine for that long period of time. Now when this hits, the impact is going to be much, much bigger than it would have been at a time when our economic engine was still in its normal function.
That was on purpose.
Right, of course, and that's really
COVID shutdowns
was what I was about to say, is that I no longer believe. Call me a conspiracy theorist.
Get your tinfoil hat, bro.
Yeah, I no longer believe that they were just doing the best that they could to, get through a tough time. I don't think that's not what happened.
Well, and like Jordan Peterson and them said, to shut down the world, not just our country, but the world's economic engine and supply side. To think that, what kind of retard thinks that's a good idea?